Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, I just wanted to say all things in the video are alleged. They are from my opinions only. They are used for entertainment purposes. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, we're going to be talking about Sista. So the episode starts with Andy was being followed by this guy, and she beats him up. And then we find out that she was being followed because Robin was having her be followed. Um, During her finding this out, she gets in her feelings. She asks Robin why he was violating her privacy. Of course, he lets her know that he was trying to make sure she was safe. He didn't want anything to happen to her. But she fires him and lets him know that she no longer wants him to be her attorney. So there is that situation. She fires him. She no longer wants him as her attorney. And he asks if she's sure that that's what she wants to do. Of course, she says yes. The next scene we're going to see is where we're going to get where they call during this scene with Robin and the guy that was following her. Andy gets a call from the Fatima, and she lets her know that Karen was in the hospital and she had went into labor. The next scene is, where we go where Danny couldn't breathe. She couldn't breathe. And, we find out when the paramedics arrive that she is actually having a panic attack. She wasn't having a heart attack. So they ask Danny, does she still want to go to the hospital? Of course, she says no. The therapist asks her who would she like for her to call, and she tells her to call Sabrina, and she calls Sabrina to come over with her, but of course she's going to stay there until Sabrina gets there. So next we will see where Karen, Zach, and Fatima are having the back and forth at the house because, as we know, Karen popped up. They let Karen, Fatima was letting Karen know she can't be popping up. Her and Zach they are both doing too much. Of course, Karen feels away because Zach is overstepping himself, but Fatima is letting Karen know she can't continue to pop up to the house because then she's doing too much as well. During this conversation, Zach lets it slip that Fatima is pregnant. Of course, Karen gets mad. And let me see if I can insert this clip right here so you guys can see.
Jack, I got it. You have clearly done enough.
Look, Fatima, I understand where you're coming from. I do, honestly. But
Karen, come on. For real. Would you really be okay with some woman just popping up at your house anytime she wanted?
Some woman?
Yeah, just because she was the baby mama of your...
No. Okay?
Exactly.
But once he started talking about custody schedules of a newborn, I said, yeah, I do have a right to come here and put my foot down.
Okay. But popping up is still overreacting.
Oh, I think you're overreacting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I said, both of y'all are being extra.
Okay.
Zach chose to do it on the phone, but you chose to do it in my living room.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Hey, no, hey, wait a minute. Remember, I'm the problem. Remember me?
Yeah,
Zach, I'm the problem. Blame me, okay? Yes, I don't need you backtracking into more drama. It ain't good for neither one of y'all's pregnancy. Jesus.
Really, Zach?
I'm sorry. It slipped. It slipped. I swear, it slipped.
What'd you say? Fatima, are you pregnant?
Yes, Karen. I am. I was waiting until I was a little further along, but Captain Loose lives here. Can't hold water.
I said I was sorry.
Really?
It was an accident.
No, seriously, Zach. Come on. Wait, Karen, are you okay?
No.
Karen?
Oh,
Karen.
Whoa.
Karen, what is
I think
it?
I'm going into labor.
Oh, no. Okay. I need you to.
Shit, no.
Here.
I'll get the keys. I'll get the keys.
Hurry, Zach. Look, Zach.
So that's what got Karen going into her little premature fake labor because she found out Fatima was pregnant. So that's how that ended. The next scene we will go to is with Danny and the therapist. So they are waiting on. Make sure, let me find my notes, y'all, because I'm just going all over the place. Trying to remember by mind. Okay. The paramedics arrive and Danny's still saying that she's going to die. During this scene, of course, we find out she's having a panic attack. They ask if she wants to go to the hospital. She says no. They ask to call her friend. They call Sabrina. And, oh, I said all this already. I just wanted to show the video. My bad. What is wrong with me? Anyway. Yeah. Let's move on. We're supposed to be going to the hospital. I'm out of line. I'm sorry. So at the hospital, this is where Gary is wakes up because Hayden is standing here trying to pretend like he's going to, well, I can't say he was going to pretend, but he was there to smother Gary. Of course, it didn't happen because Gary wakes up. And so during that, he pretends that he's there to check on him. And while he's there, he finds out Gary doesn't remember him. And so here comes Hudson, and he lets Hayden know he needs to leave. Hayden asks why Gary doesn't remember him or his woman. So he finds out that Gary has problems with his memory, so he doesn't remember anybody. Right now, he don't remember nobody but Andy. So, of course, Hudson asks Hayden, why are you so concerned with when Gary gets his memory back? Are you scared of something he might remember? Either way it go, Hayden decides to leave. Okay, the next scene we'll have is where Zach is nervous. He was sitting here pacing back and forth. Right here on this scene, Fatima had finally gotten him to sit down, and she was trying to calm him down. Of course, he still wasn't calm, but she told him he needed to call Aaron to let Aaron know what was going on. Of course, Zach didn't want to, but he ends up calling him. The next scene we'll go to is where Rich and Sabrina are talking about the phone call that he got from the clinic where, they want him to come in. And he's, of course, nervous that something is wrong with his sample. Sabrina is trying to reassure him. But in this conversation, while she's trying to reassure him, she receives a phone call from the therapist letting her know that something is going on with Danny. During this, Rich takes it upon himself to call. He takes it upon himself to call Tony when nobody told him to do so. I thought that was really, presumptuous of him. I thought he overstepped. And for one, he shouldn't have even been listening to the conversation that Sabrina was having with the therapist. But even if you overheard what she said, it wasn't your job to go and call Tony to let him know anything. But he does that. But there's that situation. Anyway, the next scene we will have is where we go back to the hospital where Karen is and the doctor is examining her. He lets her know that she is not in labor. She is actually in false labor, or she was having Braxton Hicks. And we are back to waiting on these damn twins. She tells the doctor, he tells her some of the things that can trigger Braxton Hicks, and she lets him know that stress is probably her trigger because she is being stressed by the baby's father. I was looking for this scene where Zach was sitting here stressing, eating his hot Cheetos, but I don't see it. So I guess I didn't put it on there. But anyway, the next scene we go to is where Danny, I guess she went and took a shower. She comes back. She thanks the therapist for everything she's done. She asks if she's going to be charged for her cleaning and coming to check on her. But she tells her she won't be. So while the therapist is still there talking to her, Sabrina finally arrives and she thanks the therapist for calling her. Of course, they introduce each other. Sabrina sits down to ask Danny what's going on. So while she's asking Danny about the panic attack, she sees Rich. Of course, Danny doesn't want Rich there. And Sabrina is trying to tell Danny that Rich is just as concerned about her as she is. But of course, we know he is not, because even in this, we see Tony rush in and Danny is upset about it. She asks him to leave. And they want to know how he knew to even come. Rich tells her that he was the one that told him to come. And so they were like, well, how did you know to tell him to come over here? He's like, well, I overheard while you was talking to the therapist. So Sabrina's like, so you were eavesdropping on my conversation. And, she felt a way behind that. Back to the hospital, we're going to see where they know Karen is fine. They let her know, she needs to reduce her stress. And Zach runs out and he acts like all the babies are him. So he's doing like too much. He's being extra. So everyone gets upset about that, of course. Andy shows up and she's like, well, Fatima called me. Are you and the twins okay? Karen tells Andy she's fine. She asks Karen if she needs her to take her home, of course. Karen says no because she rode with Zach and Fatima. So her car is at their house, so she's going to go with them. Andy is like, okay, cool. Well, since I'm here, I'll just go check on Gary. And she leaves. In walks Aaron, who is now finding out what's going on. And of course, he's upset with Zach. They get into arguments about him stressing Karen out. But, I partially blame Karen for a lot of her own issues because she contributes to a lot of this stuff. Come on now. She contributes to a lot of this stuff. Then we go back to the scene, back to Rich and Tony. You know, they have left the apartment. So now they are having a conversation about what's going on. Tony wants to be there for Danny, and she's telling him you need to let your woman handle things the way she wants to, and you need to just fall back. So they're like, okay, cool. What's going on with you? He's like, you know, he got the call from the clinic letting him know something may be wrong with sperm. And of course, Tony tries to make Rich feel better by making a corny joke about what he was doing in college. So during this, they get a call from Jordan letting them know that Penelope has admitted or has been arrested for trying to stab and alive Gary Marshall Borders. Back at the house or at the apartment, Danny is telling Sabrina that she needs or she wants Tony to stop trying to psychoanalyze her. She wants to be able to process. She understands she's going through things, but she needs to be able to process things on her own. And she wants him to stop psychoanalyzing her on everything. Next, we go back to the hospital where they are about to fight. Dang near up in this hospital, but they are able to. Fatima lets them know she's gonna leave. They're gonna leave. You see Karen sitting here looking around like she can't open her mouth and say nothing. I do feel like Aaron. I feel like Aaron does too much and Zach does too much. Aaron thinks he's the father or he's better than Zach. When in actuality, I don't think either one of them is better than the other one, if we being honest. I still think Aaron has a lot of stuff that he's trying to hide, but he's doing all this because he wants Karen. But at the end of the day, Karen does not want him like that. Maybe she will, but he's trying to exert himself like this dominant man because he feels like that's what's going to get Karen. But at the end of the day, Karen feels how she feels about Zach. No matter what he does, if she still loves Zach, then a dang on thing Aaron can do about it. So he need to put his little bird chest in and call it a day. It is what it is. I don't like all no at this point. The next scene we're going to go to is where Hayden is at the hospital and he receives a call from Robin. And Robin lets him know that Andy has been suspended indefinitely. So, of course, while Andy is walking up, Hayden takes this time to try to goad her about what's going on. And he's like, okay, so you're here to finish taking Gary up out of here. So of course, Andy is like, that's not what she's there for. But she's trying to figure out why is Hayden talking to her. But while they are there, they both get a notification on their phones where they find out that Miss Penelope has been arrested for the attempted unaliving of Gary Marshall Borders. So now they sitting here looking at each other like, okay, now where is this gonna go? This is where the scene ends because we don't know where this is gonna hold for next week. We don't know what's gonna play out. And I'm trying to see if I still thought I saw the preview in here for next week. Or rather, I do see let me show you guys this part right here. Give me a second. Okay, we want this. I thought it had something to play. I did all so sorry, y'all. I was looking for something else. I thought I saw the video for where that played last night, which is what I was looking for. But I don't see it. But I'm trying to see if I can see something real quick before I end this review. But it looks like that's it. I don't have the time to go look for all the other extra stuff. I got to go to work. But anyway, that is going to be it for this review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Drop down in the comments. Talk to me. Let me know what you guys think. I am going to do a preview review because if you follow me on for the family business, then you would know that there is a new season of the family business coming out. Family Business New Orleans. I'm gonna do a preview. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow, but don't hold me to that. If I don't get around to it, I will definitely get it done this weekend. If I don't get it done tomorrow, I'll definitely get it done this weekend. But please drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.